Zeus, the mightiest god in Greek mythology. He was the ruler of the sky and thunder, as well as the lord of all gods and humans. His story begins with his birth as the son of Cronus and Rhea. Cronus devoured his children out of fear of a prophecy, but Rhea saved Zeus by hiding him on Crete. When he grew up, he defeated Cronus and seized control of the world, freeing his siblings. Zeus's attribute is the thunderbolt, symbolizing his power and control over the universe. He served as the guardian of justice, order, and law. He was also the patron of warriors and Olympians. Despite being acknowledged as the most important god, he had flaws, especially related to his numerous offspring with various women, which sometimes led to conflicts. Zeus symbolizes authority, justice, and the power of nature. Poseidon, the brother of Zeus and Hades, Poseidon was the son of Cronus and Rhea. His domain encompassed the seas, oceans, and earthquakes. Legend has it that after defeating Cronus, Poseidon received dominion over the seas, while Hades ruled the underworld, leaving Zeus in charge of the heavens. Poseidon's attribute is the trident, symbolizing his rule over the seas and oceans, as well as his power to cause earthquakes. Dolphins and horses often accompany him as sacred animals associated with his worship. Poseidon watches over sailors and fishermen, but he could be capricious and wrathful, leading to storms and earthquakes. For the inhabitants of the coasts and islands of Greece, he was an important god, and temples in his honor were widespread throughout ancient Greece. Hades, the brother of Zeus and Poseidon, Hades was the son of Cronus and Rhea. As the god of the underworld and the afterlife, following Zeus and his siblings' victory over Cronus, Hades became the ruler of the realm of the dead, known as Hades or the underworld, destined for the souls of the deceased. His attributes were the scepter and the keys to the gates of the underworld. He was always accompanied by his dog, Cerberus, guarding the gates of Hades, and incense, symbolizing offerings made to the deceased. Hades was powerful and relentless, rarely leaving his kingdom. Although associated with a dark nature, he was not considered an evil god, but rather a guardian of the balance between life and death. Hera, the sister and wife of Zeus, Hera was the most important goddess in Greek mythology, primarily known as the protector of marriage, family, and motherhood. Her story was closely intertwined with Zeus, whom she married after his victory over the Titans. Hera's attributes were the diadem and scepter, symbolizing her power and dignity as the queen of the gods, as well as peacocks, her sacred animals, which often adorned her robes with their feathers. Known for her jealousy towards Zeus's love for other goddesses and mortals, her wrath sometimes led to difficult situations for those who infringed upon her feelings. Although not all aspects of her character were positive, Hera was recognized as one of the most important goddesses in the Greek pantheon, symbolizing important family and societal values, and her mythology was a significant element of Greek religious life. Ares, the god of war. Ares was one of the most controversial members of the Greek pantheon. He was the son of Zeus and Hera, and the brother of the goddess Athena, embodying brutal martial force. His attributes were the helmet, armor, sword, and shield, symbolizing his engagement in combat. Wild and impulsive, driven by anger and bloodlust, he was difficult for other gods to control. As a warlike hero, he did not enjoy the same respect as other gods. He was perceived as a warrior who took pleasure in battle and destruction. His warlike intentions often ended in failure, and his relationships with other gods were tense. Apollo. One of the most important and versatile gods in Greek mythology, Apollo was primarily known as the god of art, music, light, medicine, and prophecy. He was the son of Zeus and Leto, and the twin brother of the goddess Artemis. Celebrated by musicians, poets, and artists as the god of music and patron of art and poetry, his instruments were the golden bow and lyre, symbolizing beautiful melodies and musical arrows. As the god of knowledge, guardian of the young, and guide in the pursuit of wisdom. His sanctuary in Delphi was a place of oracle consultations where people sought advice and prophecies. Aphrodite, the goddess of love, beauty, desire, and fertility. She emerged from the sea foam and drifted ashore on a seashell on the coast of Cyprus. Her attributes were the rose, dove, and myrtle, symbolizing beauty, love, and fertility. She was often accompanied by Eros, the god of love, and her son, as well as a magical girdle that made everyone fall in love with her. The guardian of love and marital union. Her cult included numerous rituals celebrating love and desire. Her temples, such as the famous sanctuary in Paphos, Cyprus, attracted pilgrims seeking the blessings of love. Athena. One of the most important and revered goddesses, Athena was known as the goddess of wisdom, defensive warfare, art, crafts, and the patroness of the city of Athens. She was born from the head of Zeus, already fully armed and ready for battle. Her attributes were the shield, helmet, spear, and owl, symbolizing wisdom and prudence. Known as the protective goddess of Athens, she defended the city against enemies and brought prosperity to its inhabitants. Athena, as the goddess of defensive warfare, was revered by warriors seeking her protection and support in battles. However, her warlike nature differed from Ares' aggression. She promoted strategy, wisdom, and the skill of fighting in accordance with the principles of justice. Her cult included practices related to learning, art, and crafts. Her temples, including the famous Parthenon on the Acropolis in Athens, were places of worship where people paid homage and made offerings. The figure of Athena is a symbol of wisdom, justice, and courage. Hephaestus, the god of fire, blacksmithing, craftsmanship, and technology. The son of Zeus and Hera, he was rejected by his mother due to his ugliness and descended to earth, making him one of the most empathetic gods in the Greek pantheon. His attributes were the blacksmith's hammer and anvil, symbolizing his talent in forging metal and his ability to create technical works. He is considered the master blacksmith among gods and humans, and his works are characterized by unparalleled quality and precision. Hephaestus, also known as the god of fire, melted metals and created magical objects and weapons for other gods. Despite his physical disability, he was respected and revered for his craftsmanship and technical skills. Artemis, primarily known as the goddess of hunting, virginity, wilderness, and the moon. Artemis was the twin sister of Apollo, the daughter of Zeus and Leto. Her attributes were the bow and arrows, symbolizing her talent in hunting and archery. She was often accompanied by a stag or other wild animals considered sacred to her. She also patronized virginity and cared for young girls. As the goddess of the moon, she influenced the cycles of nature and life, and her cult included rituals related to moon worship. In some regions, she was also regarded as a goddess of fertility and family protection. Artemis participated in adventures and battles against monsters and the enemies of the gods. Demeter, the goddess of fertility, harvest, agriculture, and cultivated land. She was the daughter of Cronus and Rhea, and the sister of Zeus, Hades, Poseidon, and Hestia. Demeter's attributes are the sickle and sheaf of wheat, which symbolize her role as the patroness of agriculture and fertility. Demeter is the mother of Persephone, who was abducted by Hades, causing sadness and anger in the goddess. During her mourning, the earth froze, and crops began to wither. Only when Persephone was freed did Demeter return to her joy, and the earth began to yield crops again. Her cult was particularly strong among farmers and rural inhabitants. Hermes, the god of travel, trade, theft, and the guardian of travelers and messengers. He was the son of Zeus and the nymph Maia. His birth was unusual because as a newborn, he stole his brother Apollo's cattle, which became one of his first known deeds. His attributes were the caduceus, a staff with two crossed snakes, symbolizing his role as the messenger of the gods and a traitor, and the petasos, a small hat worn by travelers. He was also known for his speed and agility, which helped him move between worlds. Hermes served as a guide for the souls of the dead to Hades.